Okay, I lied a little. I tend to do that. I wanted to move on and cover this one. Black and purple facing off each with one guy. Black had 2 tokens. They decided to go big and bid on that. Yes, they're involved in another fight with purple, but they want this extra disc. Unfortunately, purple decided to go so big black couldn't win and paid 3 discs on it. So they win it. Black goes out, and now purple gets an extra disc of their choice of color. The reason I'm highlighting this is that this one didn't end up creating a disc. This is the last of the special ability locations until we hit Tammany itself. And this is kind of important. So purple wants a disc they can use preferably here and maybe with an option there. So they're going to take themselves a white disc, and these others go back in piles. Now we'll be moving on and just continuing through. So now we've finished the first region. Yellow won against purple and Tammany. Both sides went big, basically. The purple player said, yeah, I took that extra disc so I could perhaps win that. The problem with that is they're giving this one up. They're going to lose this. This is going to end up a draw. Yellow played all their discs to say, yeah, I won it. That's going to also clear out this one because yellow doesn't have an additional disc. It's these kind of choices. Both were saying, I would rather have the 2 victory points for Tammany than this additional location. Problem with that? Well, whoever gets the most votes gets the mayor. And if you're losing a vote that maybe a lower bid would have gotten you here, you got a difficult situation. So people were in a position where they knew black didn't have any, yet they still bid and didn't hold a reserve, thinking the other guy would back down, essentially, because they had a guaranteed win, and that's going to be a problem. Now we shift over into Region 2 over here, and we start assessing these. Black and yellow, for example, neither one has any discs available. Those are slander tokens. Those don't count. So they're both out of there. And that's going to happen in a number of places. So now it's time to start counting. And I've already kind of done this, but let's look. Red. Uh-oh. Crap, he's holding. All right. The hell with that. Let's look at black. Black only won 1 territory. So we'll put their little top hat guy there. Now this is the victory point guy, so I'm going to actually lay him down like this to indicate the votes. I want to keep track of the current votes this way. So that's black. Purple. Purple only won 2 districts, and dimmed if I have a top hat guy for purple. There's one. So that didn't get him too high. Yellow. Yellow only won 3 districts. And I just pulled one of his out. Red has 4 districts. And white has only 2 districts. And I don't know if I have a top hat out for him yet. Okay. So red is going to win the mayoral race. And I can hand him that little thing. What that means is he gets 3 victory points. He also gets 1 victory point per territory. He had 4 territories. That puts him up to 7 victory points. So that's kind of his starting location for mayor and for the victory points that he gets for locations. Let's look at our next. Yellow. Yellow is only going to get 3 victory points there, and we'll put his little hat up. And you could say, wait, he gets 4 because he gets Tammany Hall as well. And that's why I'm using 2 different sets of markers at this moment. Black is just going to get his 1. Purple, I got to find the other little top hat. You know, they're just not that distinguishable. And same with white. I don't have any. There we go. All right. Now we deal with the political favor chips that people are going to get, though. And this is kind of a hard thing to do in so many people with just one of me. Green is the first test, so let's look. He has 2 green. I can actually clear these off and score them this way. Oh, that would be brilliant. Okay, red has 1. Red only has 1 green. Yellow has 1, 2, 3 green. Who's left? Purple. Purple only has 1 green in areas that he controls. And black only has 1 green in areas he controls. That means yellow has the most support amongst the Irish. So he's going to get 3 bonus discs. And that's a big jump. And something to keep an eye on in this game. From handling that. Now I'll come back and show you who got the others, but I don't want to just do a lot of counting. Counting's pretty boring and I hate doing it anyway. I'll come back in a bit. So after looking at the ethnic distributions, we already saw what yellow got with the Irish. Red got the ones they went for. They went for the Germans and the English and got big piles of each. Purple got what they were going for, even though they got knocked out of one of their areas. There weren't a lot of Italians on the board, and they managed to pull all 3 of the 3 discs by getting 2 of those. Other people didn't get any additional discs. That puts them at a severe disadvantage going into this next round. I think it's a good idea to try to get one of your ethnic groups in there. Maybe more important than winning an extra victory point or winning, some extra areas. But you get these cubes by winning areas. So you got to kind of have this neat balance in your head. I find that I love doing that subconsciously. I wouldn't want to count this. I wouldn't want to think it all through. I just want to do it by gut feeling. And that's just me, maybe. All right. Now we go to the offices. Oh, boy. I got to think about these because I got no idea which one I want to assign to whom. Basically, you want to assign the good stuff to the people who aren't doing so well. I've already taken my victory points for mayor. So now it becomes a question of, well, who's going to be a problem, who's not? Are there people I'm in conflict with that I don't want to give strong things to? And then also the victory point track location. Hey, is yellow doing better? Should I kind of shaft them over a little bit? But the red player's probably thinking, I'm kind of the bunny here. I'm the guy in the lead, and people are going to be hunting me. And I'm sitting on some kind of valuable real estate down here that gives special bonuses that people will be more interested in. Of course, I got a lot to defend myself with. Okay, so looking at the powers, Council President is the one I like the least. I think it's the least valuable, least powerful. It's the one that allows you to drop a piece in there and say, okay, nothing's changing there. No one can put a council member in there, which is a good way of locking in your ownership of something. Yellow can do this and drop it on Tammany on their first turn, but everybody gets a turn before them because red has put this behind them. Remember, I always go counterclockwise. If you're not used to my games, I have to do it that way when I'm soloing. I don't know why. Anyway, the fact that everyone will get a chance to go before yellow does makes it an even more potent penalty or more of a bone to hand them this thing. It's just not terribly valuable. The next questionable one, well, I went with deputy mayor. This one gives you a political favorite chip each time. I think that's probably the best of them. Black's going to get to choose one color chip to use. They've got no stockpile. They're kind of low on points. They're probably going to challenge me with them, but I wouldn't want to give that advantage to anyone in a stronger position, so that seems okay. The next two are kind of similar. Precinct chairman allows you to move an immigrant, like this, each time you go. Okay, that's potent. You can shift people out of your precinct. You can take somebody's support away from them and move support where you need it, whatever. That's, I think, a little more powerful than the next one, which is simply removing an immigrant group from a particular area. Just, it goes back in the bag. All right, well, I cleared Castle Garden already. I did that kind of off camera, I think. This is pretty much where we are as we shift into turn 5. We're going to be starting now with the mayor going first over here at red. And we go through that same process. Placing pieces, trying to collect chips from what is showing up here. And we'll shuffle those up and put them in. And preparing yourself for the next election. The only difference this time, everybody's got the right to spend one of these over the course of this cycle to try to knock out ward bosses. That's an expensive proposition. You're taking away someone else's ward boss with something that's probably a vote for you and would be a vote for you in that precinct, right? Because you're spending a disc. You're throwing away a victory point for one of these. And then if you take a second ward boss off, you're throwing away 2 more of those, two more discs of that color. So you're giving up a lot of political power to smear someone. But here's the bonus. You could take them out of a region in which they're your only competition. So you might see slanders coming late in the cycle, just before the election. How thematic. And, you know, trying to guarantee yourself a win that you can pick up for 1 or 2 wins for 3 little discs that maybe would have cost you more if you wanted to take them otherwise. So they are an option, but they are an expensive option, and you probably don't want to do it. Just you shouldn't feel bad for holding on to one of these. They give you a victory point, and the things you have to pay to do them, you ought to be sure that you're going to get a gain from it. All right, I'm going to send this one up, and it looks like I'm going to split this into actually 2 videos. One, the first part, just that first original video, and then this separate one.